Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha, to the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct. Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of humans beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all three ever devout to all three ever devout homage, to all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms atoms in all aspects, with supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits, may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Then we'll take refuge once in English, twice in Tibetan. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merits I create through listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye chodan
Songje chona la janje badu dagni kapsun che dagi chonen gepe sonam gi drola penche sangye druparshu Sangye chodan soki chonam la janchu badu dagni kapsun che Gi chonen gepe sonam gi drola penche sangye druparsho. Kange dozen ni zone dawa dan je bang be je dan be chene dan je bang kong dam de la chang zang lo. Toni ni je zong den je be la chen che san ze kang je den zhong ke cha na pe me den ze jia zo la xia be sen da den. Toni ni je zong den je be la chen che san ze kang je den zhong ke cha na pe me den ze jia zo la su wan de se xin de lun zhuo xiu. Tambo la ye ge na le dan ju ge de bo da da me ge na dan zhuo kun ji dan na ji zan ba dam je ge dun da ge che do do. So now we're going to do the breath meditation for a few minutes. We should breathe 7 times into nostrils and breathe 7 times both nostrils. Very focus on breath. Just watch it breath. Be aware of your breath. Onto your breath. Very relaxed. Very loose. Just be mindful on the breath. Just look at the breath. Seven times breathe both nostrils. Focus on breath. When I breathe out, visualize all the negative karmas, all the problems, all the depressions, all the stress come out and clears our. When you breathe in, visualize all the good qualities, receive all the good qualities from Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. It's compassion, bodhicitta, love, kindness, and mentally good qualities. Through these meditations, your body and mind, speech become very clean and brightness, transparent, purified. There are many benefits to this meditation, but both mere physical and mental and emotions. Through this meditation, we increase our positive energy and mindfulness and awareness. This is very, very important for practitioners and special meditators. And especially this is something basic meditation, basic concentration, and fundamental of concentration and calm abiding meditation. So this is very important meditation. If you keep on going, and if you meditate on breath consistently, then definitely it will be helpful and beneficial for yourself, and especially for meditation and practice. This is very important. So now we're going to do short meditations on our mind. Very relaxed and loose your body. Just normal. And try to find your mind. Where is your mind? What is the nature of the mind? What is reality nature of mind, or the alternative nature of mind? Mind is not a colorful and a color, and it is not touchable. It is not form. We can't touch it. But mind itself very clean and brightness, and it has potential to know everything. This is very powerful. And we should take care of mind. It's very important. We should take care of our mind. And through this meditation, we should understand what is Buddha nature, what is seed of the Buddha nature. How we should realize Buddha nature. We are, very lucky at the moment, clear mind and a healthy mind. So we need to use strong mind and a healthy mind and powerful mind. This is very important. You must try to find your mind. Where is mind? What is the nature of mind? Through this meditation, we can understand about our mind and nature of mind. How many we have different minds? What is a gross mind? What is subtle mind? And then through this meditation, we can realize, our good emotions, bad emotions. Really, without understand about mind, really, really difficult to practice well. Very difficult. Because all the Buddhist practices we should practice based on understand, mind. Because all the Buddhist meditations and practices, is special for change your mind for better. Therefore, we should practice in order to understand our mind and change our mind. That why meditate on our mind is very, very important, very important. Mornings, if we have time, maybe daytimes and evening. 3 times every day, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. If we meditate on the mind, consistently and if we can, continuously and constantly, definitely we can change our mind. Definitely we can develop our mind. Definitely we can see something, in a new world. As I mentioned that before, we have a lot of problems in the daily life, our daily life. So many problems, many sufferings, many stress, many depressions. Why? Because we not understand about mind. We don't understand how to control mind. We don't understand how to change your mind for better and how to develop our inner qualities. That's why we have problem. That's why we have, depression and stress. So many different, difficulties in our daily life. All the Buddhas, teaches purpose is the same: change mind for better, develop mind. This is the purpose of Buddhist teachings and practices. So we need to understand about mind. It's very important. Okay, thank you. So today I'm going to talk about Lama Tsongkhapa's teaching. And especially today's our topic is, eighth verse. And I talk, something related to six perfection of maybe wisdom. But so Lama Tsongkhapa said that again and yet again we are reborn in the limitless samsara and constantly tormented by the three forms of suffering. This is the correct condition of all our mothers from previous lives. Contemplate, and generate super bodhicitta. This is a translation. So this verse tells us, that first we should understand the nature of our lives in samsara. This is very important. As I mentioned that before about mind, exactly the same. First we should understand the nature of our samsara life. Our lives in samsara. And we need to realize all of the different sufferings. And especially, we need to understand the three types of suffering. The suffering, the suffering of change, and pervasive suffering. Why we need to understand about suffering? Because we want happiness and overcome suffering. That's why we need to understand about suffering. Without understanding about suffering, you can't, give up. You can't to be free from suffering. Actually, the suffering of suffering, is quite easy for us to understand. Sometimes headache, sometimes painful, sometimes cold, sometimes very hot. This kind of the suffering, this suffering, suffering of suffering, This kind of sufferings are suffering of suffering. And the suffering of change. Many mismen, of course, many people, misunderstand between suffering of change and happiness. Many people, follow suffer of change. Many people consider that this is as happiness. This is wrong. This is suffering. but we can't realize nature of suffer of change. So almost the people just follow the suffer of change and try to find the suffer of change and work for suffer of change. Always run after suffer of change. Talk for suffer of change. Thinking for suffer of change. That's why we have some problem in this life. Actually, we don't want suffering, of course, but still we have. Why? Something like naturally, something like automatically, but not automatically, not nature, but we have. Because we run after, after suffer of change. Always thinking for suffer of change. Always, very hard work for, suffer of change. That means, temporary suffer or happiness. Temporary happiness means is, suffer of change. This is not ultimate happiness. This is not real happiness. Not real happiness. Not genuine happiness. 99%, temporary happiness turn to suffering after some time. That's why we call it suffer of change. Suffer of change. For suffer of change, we waste a lot of money. We waste our precious time. For suffer of change, we waste many different good things. Many people, use very high, what is expensive, alcohols. For example, wines, drinks. Why? This is for suffer of change. It's not for happiness. When you first time when you drink one cup of drinks, okay, looks happy, enjoy. But after some time, this turns to suffering. Really, this harm to your health and harm to your mind. And what is, of course, you need spend a lot of money for that. These things. That means suffer of change. This is the meaning of suffer of change. Many people, for example, watch, TV for many hours until 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours for morning, Precious times, wasted with, watch a movie. Then tomorrow we can't wake up earlier and, headache, lose, energy. That means, suffer of change. So we should understand the suffer of change and the cause of suffering. It's very important. What is cause of suffering? Where is from suffering from? From where? We should understand. Very, very important. What is the cause of suffering? What is the cause of depression? What is the cause of stress? Stress. From where? So we have many different thoughts, worry and so what is, different emotions and stress and depressions, anxieties, From where? From thoughts, from mind. But what is the main cause of suffering? That's why, as I mentioned that before, Buddha said, this is our suffering. First times when he talked about suffering. This is suffering. That means our body is suffering. That means our body is nature of suffering. Our body is, physical. This is not scientifically, not feel, but, this is nature of suffering. And Buddha said we should understand the cause of suffering. Basically, we should understand, our samsaric lives, and we should understand our, miserable lives in order to generate compassion and bodhicitta, according to Buddhist philosophy. This is very important. Why we should understand suffering? Why? So many people consider that, I don't want to realize the suffering because I don't want suffering. But this is totally wrong. If you really don't want suffering, then you should understand about suffering. Many people don't like to talk about suffering. I don't want to listen about suffering because I want suffer. I don't want suffering. I want to happiness. This is totally wrong. If really you don't want suffering, then you should understand suffering. Otherwise, you can't be free from suffering. Actually, this according to Buddhist philosophy, we don't have any enemy outside. Enemy means from our heart, our mind, with your mind. But for example, if you don't know who are your enemy, how you can protect yourself from enemy, how you to bring defense. That's exactly the same. If we don't want to suffer, we should understand our suffering. We need to realize, this cause of suffering. Then we can challenge. Then we can defend. Then we can protect ourselves from suffering. That way, we should understand, nature of suffering and suffering in order to, generate compassion and bodhicitta. My opinion, I consider that, understanding suffering is the main cause of bodhicitta and compassion. Really, if you without realize, this suffering of others' suffering and our suffering, how we can generate bodhicitta, how we can generate compassion? It is impossible. Without realize, without understand nature of this life, we can't practice renunciation. We can't practice, don't have chance to practice compassion and bodhicitta. That's why we should understand of suffering of change, suffering of suffering. So and suffering cause of suffering. Really, if you really very clear, understand about suffering and cause of suffering, then you automatically, naturally, you want to take care of your mouth, your speech, your mind, your body. Because now you understand what is the cause of suffering. Then you can control yourself. Then you understand, value of compassion and love and patience. Then you understand, how important, this compassion and love and patience in our life, in our daily life. This is according to Buddhist philosophy. It's very clear, okay? If without understand and realize suffering, change, cause of suffering, you can't practice, you can't generate, bodhicitta. Really can't. That's why we need to understand about what is suffering. Understand suffering and recognize suffering, realize suffering is the best cause, cause of, happiness. Okay, anyway. According to Buddhist philosophy, as I mentioned that before, without understand suffering, we can't practice compassion, and with whatever, and especially we can't practice compassion without suffering. Without suffering, according to like me, ordinary people, and at beginning, and those who are beginners, without suffering, we can't practice compassion. Exactly the same. Someone. Nobody make you angry. You can't practice patience. Exactly the same. If someone make angry, then this best chance to practice patience, isn't it? Exactly the same. We without suffering, we can't practice compassion and love. This love means unconditional love. But of course, everyone is very clear. Too much suffering we can't practice. But we need suffering in this life for practice compassion and patience. Too much suffering, very 100% controlled by the suffering, we can't get chance to practice because we are, the beginner. For bodhisattvas, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter for bodhisattvas. Higher practitioners, they can practice everywhere, anytime. They're intentionally born in samsara, what is a hell realm. They can practice in hell realm, hungry ghosts, animal realm, doesn't matter. But those who are beginner like us, that's why Buddha said this human life is best for practice, compassion, and renunciation at bodhicitta. We have many problems, many sufferings, but still we can practice. These sufferings, these problems, we can turn to practice, turn to condition for practice. This we can bring in our practice. We can put in our practice. So our life is very, very good for practice. That's why we call this precious life, precious human life. We have problem, but not too much. We have suffering, but too much, not too much. For example, so as I mentioned that before, especially those who are beginners, don't have chance to practice compassion without suffering. If we don't realize the nature of suffering, and we don't have a chance to practice compassion, that is why Lama Tsongkhapa said that we need to contemplate and to understand the situation of suffering beings. Suffering beings. Then you can practice compassion and love and bodhicitta and patience. That is, Lama Tsongkhapa said that we need to contemplate and to understand the situation of suffering beings. How we are suffering in samsara. What is the situation of what is suffering beings and samsara? This is the best condition for generating bodhicitta and compassion. In this way, then we can generate bodhicitta. For Lama Tsongkhapa, in this verse, Lama Tsongkhapa said very clear. First, we should understand suffering. Then we can try to generate bodhicitta and bodhicitta. Our Kadamba master said that if suffering does not exist, then there is no renunciation. In Tibet, it's a very beautiful word. Dunga me na ngenjo me. Dunga means suffering. If the suffering does not exist, then there is no renunciation. That means renunciation from suffering, compassion of the suffering. But we can't say like that, okay? Suffering is not cause of renunciation. Suffering is not cause of bodhicitta and compassion, okay? But if you understand suffering, this can be cause of renunciation and compassion. This is very clear. This is very clear. That's why we need to practice renunciation based on understanding suffering, especially suffering of samsara. So also this, Tibetan verbs, it is also English, same, If we never test something bitter, what is bitter? Bitter. We can't recognize, what is sweet, delicious. Exactly same. Without experience suffering, without understanding suffering, we can't get chance to practice compassion and love, bodhicitta. That's why this Buddha also said that if it does not suffer, this that does not exist. It does not exist. What is suffering? Suffering does not exist. Then there is no renunciation. This means that if we don't have suffering and problems with this life, then we don't have chance to practice renunciation and compassion. This is very clear. Always we are very happy, very enjoy, temporary enjoy. We can't remember practice. We can't remember Dhamma. If little bit problem, headache, then remind us, Dhamma. And then we want to practice. That's why suffering, understand suffering and suffering important. That's why we can visualize when you had that, for example, okay? When you had that, when your back's painful, you should visualize, oh, this is blessing from my guru. This is blessing from Buddha. Because I need purification, practice purification. I need practice more. That's why, Guru sent me this problem. Otherwise, I can't remember Dhamma. Otherwise, I can't remember practice. Otherwise, I don't want to practice. If you don't remember practice, remember Dharma, you don't have chance to practice. If you don't have chance to practice, you don't have chance to practice purification. So we should visualize this headache is blessed from my guru. So now this is a very great chance. Give a great chance to me. Practice, exchange self and with others suffering. This is best chance to practice, exchange self happiness and with others suffering. That's why we can visualize these problems, more problems, from Buddha, from gurus. In the Lama Tsongkhapa, very clear. These problems, we need to visualize these problems from Guru. That means that means, this means, that if we don't have suffering and problems with this life, then we don't have chance to practice renunciation and compassion. And so suffering is very important to practice exchange of self with others in order to, in Tibetan we say Tongle. Tongle. This is why Kadamba masters always in a prayer that they will have suffering. Yeah. Kadamba masters never pray for their happiness. They pray for they will have suffering for other beings. They said, Kadamba masters said that if I have suffering, then I'm happy. If I don't have suffering, then I'm not happy. My happiness not depends on this my interests and benefit. So we should understand and we learn from Kadamba Master's vision, Kadamba Master's thoughts, and their practices. Why they said that? If I have suffering, then I am happy. If I don't have suffering, then I am not happy. That means, understand about suffering and all the sufferings we can put in practice. If you practice in this way, if you practice this only and exchange, then you can to be free from suffering. This is the most important maintaining. Maintaining. In Tibetan we say lob jo, lob jo. Lo means mind. Jo means training and learn, study about mind. This is lo jo. Lo jo means not something like ready and something ready and no. Lo jo means learn more about mind. Study about mind more. Understand more. This means maintaining. This means This meaning of lojo. So exchange practice, only practice. This is the most powerful lojo. This is the most important lojo. So they said, Kadamba Master said that suffering is like a dust, broom of sin or negative karmas. Suffering is like a, dust, broom of sin or negative karmas. That means we can purify with the suffering. In Tibet, very nice word. Dunga dipi chamais. Dunga means suffering. Dunga means suffering. Dipa means sin or negative karma. Dunge dipi chamai. Chama means dust, broom. Broom, yeah. That means we can make clean our mind and to clean, also our negative karmas with, broom, with suffering, broom of suffering, broom of suffering. So how is it important? I want to read again, okay? I want to say again. The Dhamma Master said that if I have suffering, then I'm happy. If I don't have suffering, then I'm not happy. And suffering is like just the broom of sin or negative karmas. This means that if we have suffering and problems, then we can remember Dhamma. Otherwise, we can't remember Dhamma. And we can't remember Dhamma, then we don't have a chance to practice. So that means, we can be happy with suffering. This is a practice of bodhisattvas. This is practice of Kadamba masters. We can try to be happy with suffering. Many Tibetan masters really, before they, nearly to they die, passed up, but they are very happy. Why? Because they practice exchange self and others. Many people are happy with die, peaceful and very happy when they die. Time of the death, special. Many masters say that this is the best chance to practice self-change, change of self and others. Time of death. Time of death is the best practice. Chance what is best condition to practice only. As I mentioned that before, if you remember compassion, remember Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, time of death. This is the best dance for. This is the best poor. In Tibet, they say poor. In English, I think dance for, yeah? This is best poor. That means, this can save you from 3 lower realms. Many Kadamba masters said that. Many Tibet masters said that. Really, if you believe or not, depends on you, okay? Many masters said that. If we could remember Buddha Dhamma Sangha, time of death, we don't need to go to 3 lower realms. Really? That means this is best poor. After our death, someone invited someone to give poor, give transform our others who are passed away. No, not easy. Very difficult. Very, very difficult. This is difficult. Who can send you your life? Very difficult. No chance. Everything depends on yourself. Everything depends on your karma. Actually, of course, someone invited someone to poor, give poor is okay, very benefit. Of course, beneficial for this what is a dead person, but not so, not so. Okay, anyway, now I'm going to talk about ninth verse about Lama Tsongkhapa's teaching. If you lack the wisdom and that realize the nature of things, although you might grow icons stem to renunciation and bodhicitta, then you will be unhappy of cutting through conscious existence. This is the root. Exert yourself, therefore, in the method for realize interdependence. In this verse, Lama Tsongkhapa said that if we don't have a realization of the, emptiness, we can't achieve liberation and bodhicitta. Especially in this verse tells us that we have to have realized emptiness. Otherwise, we can't be free from the root of suffering and ignorance. If we practice renunciation and compassion for a long time, and if we are meditating on renunciation and compassion for as long as many years, then still we will not be able to give up ignorance without understanding emptiness. Yeah, this is very important for us. As I mentioned that before. If we practice, compassion and bodhicitta and renunciation, as long as many years, but we can't to be free from suffering. A root of this, we can't was ignorance and the root of sufferings without understanding emptiness. So therefore, we first we need to need to try to understand interdependence. This is Lama Tsongkhapa said that. This is Lama Tsongkhapa's instruction, especially, very specially. He said 3 points, okay? If you practice compassion, love, bodhicitta, renunciation as long as many years, but you can't be free from suffering and samsara and ignorance. Okay, this is one point. Without understand emptiness. Okay. Another point, he said that we should understand interdependence for understanding emptiness. That means we should understand emptiness, based on understanding, interdependence. We should practice emptiness. For practice emptiness, before we understand, we need to understand interdependence. Lama Tsongkhapa said that, therefore you should understand interdependence. For what? For understanding Buddhism, emptiness. So you must, learn more about interdependence. Okay, it's very important, very, very important. If you want to know, really, you understand about emptiness, and if you want to meditate on emptiness, you should understand, interdependence. Okay. Otherwise, you can't realize what is meaning of, what is emptiness. You can't imagine. Really, meditate on interdependence, understand it on interdependence. Then, hopefully, we understand emptiness. Otherwise, many people think emptiness, what is meaning of emptiness? Emptiness means one cup, empty house, empty room. Not like that. What is meaning of emptiness? So, as I mentioned, our understanding of interdependence is the best way to understand emptiness. Understanding of interdependence is the best way to understand emptiness. Interdependence is the best reason for everything is empty of inherent existence. Actually, there are many reasons, for everything is empty of inherent existence. Okay, but interdependence is the best reason for everything empty of self-independent and inherent existence. This is best. What is correct reasoning? This is best reason. Best logical, yes. The best reason is that everything has nature of emptiness in reality. Therefore, you should understand interdependent origination. In Tibet, we use two different words. Tendel, tenjong. Tenjen, tenjo. Interdependent origination is a tenjo. Normal interdependence, it is tendel. But meaning same. Actually, ten means, dependence. Jo means arrest. Then del means, what meaning of this word, literal words, relate to each other, connected to each other. It depends on each other. It depends on each other. This is, meaning of interdependence. This is very, very important, okay? We should understand about interdependence, meaning of interdependence, meaning of interdependent origination. I already explained, okay? You must keep in mind. Del, this means Del, that means, interdependent origination. Interdependent means, something it depends, connected to each other, and it depends on each other. Jo means, origination and arrest. Del means it depends on each other. Del means, related to each other. Relationship each other. Related to, yeah. So, we need to basic, understand of interdependence in order to understand emptiness. Okay? We need to basic understanding of interdependence in order to understand emptiness. This is really helpful and extremely beneficial for developing our practice of emptiness. And in this way, we can meditate on emptiness. And we can develop practice of emptiness. We should understand that there are three kinds of interdependence. Please you understand, okay? Must you put your, sorry, keep in mind, okay? There, we should understand that there are three kinds of interdependence. Three. We should divide to into three. All what is interdependence things, interdependent things. We should divide into three. There are three different kinds of interdependence. Why I talk about interdependence, okay? Because Lama Tsongkhapa said that in this verse, without understanding emptiness, we can't to be free from suffering and ignorance, okay? Then how do we understand emptiness? First, you should understand interdependence. Then hopefully we can understand about emptiness. That's why I'm going to talk about emptiness, okay? What is interdependence? Then why we need to practice interdependence? What is emptiness? Lama Tsongkhapa said that without understanding emptiness, without realization of emptiness, you practice for many generations, many lifetimes, you can't achieve Buddhahood and liberation. That's why we need to understand about it, others, what is emptiness. Okay? And Buddha said, how do we generate, develop compassion? First, we should understand suffering. That's why I talk about suffering. This is related to Lama Tsongkhapa's teachings. Teaching of his specialist steps, step by step. Actually, maybe so we talk sometimes, well, of course, there are two, truths, isn't it? truth of what is ultimate truth and conventional truth. And same method and wisdom. Without method and wisdom, we can't fly. Exactly the same like two wings. Only we have one wings, we can't fly over this suffering of ocean of suffering. Exactly same. Without wisdom, realization of emptiness, we can't achieve without. But another way, without and or as compassion and bodhicitta, still we can't fly. So we need the two means for fly. So number one is the interdependence of cause and effect. You must keep in your mind, okay? As I mentioned that before, three different interdependence, okay? Number one is interdependence of what is? Yeah, interdependence of cause and effect. Number two is the interdependence of parts. This I translate myself, okay? Very, what is literal? What is directly? That I will explain, I can explain, okay? But I translate here the interdependence of parts. And third one, interdependence of name and concept or maybe conception. Interdependence of conception or maybe concept. Okay, now you should understand there are three different interdependence. First one, interdependence of cause and effect. Number two, yeah, interdependence of parts of pieces, okay? Number three, interdependence of lever, name, and lever same, isn't it? Lever and concept. Now, okay? So, maybe our time is finished. Okay, very good. Then I'm going to stop here. Yeah, please, if you have any question, ask me. Any question, no problem. If I can give answer, of course, I will be willing to give you answer. But of course, I know I'm still, confused about many things. I don't understand many things. Really.
Okay, we'll take the first question from Lou.
So interdependence is just another way of saying dependent arising.
Sorry.
Interdependence is the same as dependent arising.
Yes. Interdependent arising, and origination and interdependent same. As I mentioned that before clear, interdependence means depends on each other. Arise means joy in origination. Okay, origination.
Also, you like to
Yeah. For for your lesson. I'm visiting from Albuquerque. Student counseling. Uh, there. I'm interested in knowing how I might be able to apply this in psychotherapy, working with clients who are suffering.
So repeat again, please.
So, sorry about the microphone, everyone. So Tim is a student of counseling,
Okay.
therapy,
Yes.
and Tim would like to use 3 types of interdependence
Yes.
for his patients.
Okay. Very good idea. Very good question. And also, yes, Western, psychology and Buddhist philosophy, many things the same. Many things very close. Okay? And you can develop your psychology through Buddhist understanding Buddhist philosophy. This is very helpful. Very, very helpful. And as I mentioned that before, we have to divide in four different: Buddhist philosophy, Buddhism science, Buddhism view, Buddhism religion. Okay? So Buddhism science, Buddhism philosophy, Buddhism view is very helpful to you. This is related to your study. Western psychologists and what is counseling? Yeah, you study about counseling. What is consolation? Consolation, yeah. Psychotherapists, this is very related, very, very, very helpful each other. And especially, about this, this is one part of the philosophy and view, 3 different interdependence, okay? This is one part of Buddhist philosophy. This, I think, if you study more, learn more, this is very helpful. Okay? These are, how to change mind, how to change mind for better, how to develop compassion, and how to develop, peaceful state of mind. Through this understanding, through this meditation, this interdependence. Okay? Interdependence means, everything depends on each other. Our life, our body, our name, everything depends on others. Everything depends on others. This is if you understand about interdependence, this is the best way to open your mind, open your heart. Really, through this, understand this about three interdependence, then you can make your heart bigger, and you can be thinker, and you can be better. You can be open your mind. Really, really. Because through this way, you can understand reality. Reality. Then you can be your own therapist. Why, as I mentioned that before, very clear, why we can't be our therapist? Why? Because, still we not open our mind. Still our mind very narrow. Very narrow. Narrow-minded, this, therefore we can't be, our therapist, on our own therapist. So we need open mind. So we need to make reach our mind like ocean and like sky. Through this way, through this, meditate on what's interdependence. Okay? If you have time next Sunday, you can come. Then I talk more about interdependence.
So next question will come from Krista.
Hello, Geshe. I'm not quite sure I understand my question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Good,
Is-
good.
Is suffering a phenomena, and is suffering interdependent, or is it strictly personal due to the karma and klesha?
What means suffer of?
Is suffering a phenomena? I'll start there.
Suffer of phenomena. No, we can't use this word.
Okay.
Suffer of phenomena. No.
And
Suffer of change, suffer of illnesses. Okay, suffer of samsara, suffer of body, suffer of change, suffer of what is pervasive suffering. We can't use maybe we can't use suffer of phenomena. I don't know, maybe I didn't see this word.
Okay.
Phenomena means everything phenomena, isn't it?
yes.
So we can't maybe we can't use this word. And another question. Next question.
Here's the part I'm confusing myself. Is suffering interdependent?
Oh, this we can't use.
Can't use.
No. Okay. I never see this word. Suffer of interdependence, yeah? You means?
Is suffering interdependent between people, or is it?
Yeah,
strictly
of course.
personal?
This we can call, yeah. Suffering interdependent to others, yes? You means?
But is it? I mean, is it just strictly personal based on karma and klesha, or is it? Is there? That's why I asked the phenomena question. So
Okay. Yeah, actually, I know your question. Okay. Maybe you, yeah. You are good question. I think good question. That means, you means, many sufferings from outside, isn't it? Many sufferings depends on conditions, isn't it? Yes? So actually, as I mentioned that before, we can't think like this, like that. Family is not the cause of suffering, okay? Friend is not cause of suffering. And America is not a cause of suffering. And our house, our car, not cause of suffering. It's very clear. Okay? Our parents, of course, not a cause of suffering. But many people consider that, oh, I don't want to live with my parents. Because why? They consider that have suffering from them. This is totally wrong. Okay? Another way we can't think, happiness from outside. Happiness not from family. Happiness is not from friends. Happiness is not from parents. Even. Of course, our many sufferings, related to external conditions. But why we can't? Why we get some suffering from a friend? Why? Why we get some problem with family? Why we get some problem with parents? As I mentioned that before, actually this parent is not cause of suffering, but still we can get some problems from parents. Why? Because main cause is a mind. Our mind is main cause of suffering. Thoughts, there are many different thoughts. Worries, anxieties, what is meant, stress, depression, brain suffering from family, from parents. Everything depends on yourself. Everything depends on your mind, your thoughts. But we can call like that, okay? Truth of suffering, yeah? Truth of suffering, yes. Yes, Ventundu, yeah? Truth of suffering, yeah? One part of the Four Noble Truths. Truth of suffering. Our body is the truth of suffering. Okay, this we can call. Our body is the truth of suffering. Lama Jitsumba means very famous Tibetan master. He said that Avinti, this house, this area, Avinti is the truth of suffering. Truth of suffering. So our family, truth of suffering. This cup also truth of suffering. Because we get, related to this cup, we get something, attachment and grasping, ignorance. And so that's why, Lama Master said that, this is also truth of suffering. And we really, we as a experiment very in detail, very deeper about this cup. From where? What is the cause of this cup? Karma and delusions. That's why this is, we call truth of suffering. Of course, many different temporal cause of maybe conscience, these materials. But behind this cup, more cause and conscience. From karma, from delusions, from past life, from past life. So, okay, anyway, any more questions, please?
Thank you, Geshe. Any more questions?
I do have a question online.
Thank you so much, Michael.
If in the last sentence of verse 9, it says, exert yourself to understand the methods for realizing interdependence. Do you feel like there's one or two ways of meditation that helps us realize interdependence more than other ways? Any meditation practices?
Yeah.
So this is what Michael was referring to.
Mhm.
Exert yourself.
Yes.
And then the question itself was
How to understand what is interdependence? Yes. Okay. Yes. So meditation more. Okay. Meditation is the best method to understand interdependence. Okay. But before we start meditate, we need to understand more. So if you have time and if you have a book, you must study about special book, interdependence from this Nagarjuna's books. Okay, middle way books. This is very important. So whatever we can learn more about interdependence in our daily life. Interdependent or interdependence. We don't need to look for outside. Okay? Everything with your life. You don't need to think about the city very far. Behind the mountains. Okay? everything with your life. Emptiness in with your life. Interdependence with your life. So you can learn about interdependence with your life. And you can meditate with your body. You can meditate with on your feelings, feels, different emotions, different And everything is interdependence. Everything. This is Buddhist philosophy. According to the Buddhist philosophy, everything is interdependence. Our hand is interdependence. Our head, our food, our stomach, everything is interdependence. We can learn with our body, our life. Through this way, you can understand emptiness. It's very clear, very clear. If you learn, you can learn. You have many chances if you want. Of course, you can meditate in the morning and evening, more than maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes. You can meditate on your body. What is nature of body? It's very, very, very clear. What is my body? What is the meaning of the body? Body. Your hand is body. Your legs have a body or not? Your heart, it's a body or not? It's very clear, very clear. Where is your body? What is the meaning of your body? Actually, I will explain more about interdependence, of course, in coming next, Sunday, okay? So, this cup of tea, from where? Maybe many people consider that this is just from this kitchen, that kitchen. No, from where? This cup of tea. This water from where? How many different causes there? How many different countries there? Maybe you take one single pair of your health. This one single pair. From where? What is the cause of this small pair? How many people work for this? How many people related to this pair? Now you turn to your life, in your body, in your mind. Where is mind? What is mind? What is the sense of happiness? What is the sense of anger? Anger, yeah. From where? That means we don't need to use any more this Tlicos or this Microsoft or something. We don't use any machine. We can use our mind. We can use our wisdom. Look for research or try to figure out what is the meaning of interdependence with our body, with your life. That means through the meditation, okay. As I mentioned that before, it's on that way we can close our eye, no problem. Close eye and you think it deeply. Figure out, try to find something, reality with your life. This means, we deeply, close eye, then deeply, meditate on your whole body. Very, very clear. First, you meditate on your head. What is the nature of your head? What is what is the function of your head? How many different parts of your brain? How many parts of your head? Yeah, very easy. This also practice. This is one part of mindfulness. Very good. That's why I told you before, meditate. Interdependence. You don't need to try to find out something from outside. Many people consider that, Dharma practices in scientific very far, behind the mountains. No, everything here. Buddhism, according to Buddhism philosophy, everything with your life, especially with your mind. Everything. You don't need to go outside. You don't need to experiment on external things. It is if you experiment on yourself with your mind, with your body, this is better than external things. It's more impact, more benefit, more effect. Really, It's very clear, you meditate on your body. What is the meaning of the interdependence? Very clear. I have blood. From where? I have many different bloods. From where? Some good blood, some bad blood, some white or gray, what is red, or many, So from where? I have many different senses, different fields. Where? From where? From where? From many different causes, many different conditions. That means interdependence. Really, It's helpful. This very can help to understand interdependence. Okay, so any question more?
Hi, Mark. I've been having great fun. I just wanted to share this, studying suffering by being in the cold. Walk out, take off my jacket. What is the cold? When does it become suffering? When does it stop being suffering? And I can always go inside and warm up,
So, yes. Thank you. Very good. Yes, true. Okay, now if we don't have a question, then prayer.
Is that working? Yes. So in suffering, I have my suffering, and you have your suffering. But is your suffering my suffering, and is my suffering your suffering, or is this a foolish question?
Good. Your suffering is my suffering. My suffering is not your suffering. Okay, so actually your suffering is your suffering, not my suffering, okay? Your suffering I can't experience. This is, isn't it? But according to Buddhist philosophy, we should constant thinking others' happiness and others' suffering. It's very important. Then you can do something for others. Then you want to do something for others. Without a concern about, concern about, others' happiness, others' suffering, then you always think, oh, I'm happy, then happy. Only thinking for yourself. Only thinking for your interest, your benefit. So actually, according to Buddhist philosophy, your suffering, my suffering, we can't share. Okay, my suffering can't give you. Your suffering, you can't give me. Okay, this is general, according to general Buddhist philosophy. In some way, in a particular way, some very higher masters, higher practitioners, they can take, other sufferings on themselves. Yeah, this is especially those some who practice very, very deeply hard about an exchange, only exchange. So exchange self and self with others. Many, many higher practitioners can take suffering from others. Especially those who practice about Tantra practice. Actually, there are many different realizations, different levels, different steps according to the Tantra practice. In some kind of, according to some levels, some realizations, there they can take other people's suffering. But this is very difficult to understand. Maybe you can't believe this beyond your mind. Those who have a very higher realization, they kill other people, other animals, kill like this. But they can revive like this. Really. Those people, those practitioners can take other people's suffering. Because they can send to pure light. That's why everything depends on mind, and we should understand our mind power is unlimited. It's not like that 1 GP, 2 GP, 100 GP, 500 GP. This is unlimited. According to the Buddhist philosophy, we know, right moment I use only 10% of my mind power. Really, not 10%, maybe 1%, maybe 3%. Okay, no, sorry, too much.
Thank you for the questions, everyone. Thank you, Geshe. We'll start with our dedication prayers. Gewadi Lama Sangye Gyurne Dro Chikya Mahalu De Sa Go Pasho John Cho Sam Cho Rinpo She Ma Ke Panam Ke Gyur Chik Ke Wanam Pa Me Pa Yang Gong Ne Gon Du Pelwar Shok. And for His Holiness, Gong Ri Awe Ko Jing Kam Dir
Deva Deva Malu Jokwe Chenre Sewa Tenzin Gyatso Yi Jape Si Te Bardu Chen Gyur Chi. And the swift return for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, peerless teacher, an assembly of the children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Pradyak Buddhas, victorious Losang, father and sons, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of the infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now, holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings. Through explanation and practice, you wore the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable Venerable Guru, to you I make request. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and for mother living beings, you suddenly departed to peace. What a great loss. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples. We pray also for the long lives of Geshe. Geshe, please live long. And we also pray for the long life of our resident teacher, Geshe Sherab. Thank you so much. Jisina gana bata drowa jisina jeba desi dane ne jinin droi donga sewa sho sanje ne pa janye ba nye tene ne tam jishin droi ne ne ta tuen jowa me ba sho jambe ba o jita jemba da kundu sambo te at te da kunji jisin da ira gewan de da tam je ra donga. Thank you.